What's up, y'all? I've been on vacation for a while, so now that I'm back to a more consistent schedule, I thought I'd give an update to what I'm working on. Over vacation, I built a budget server that I will use as my NAS, and I spent some time learning about ZFS, some Linux server hardening, and some server automation. I will likely also use it for Pi-hole, but I just found out my router doesn't allow changing the DNS server, so I'll have to set it up as a DHCP server, which will take a little time to read about that. I've also been learning about Docker, and I plan to use this server as a sort of self-hosted cloud provider to set up my test environment using Docker that I can easily transfer to a real cloud provider when I'm ready to do more accurate testing. The next set of work items is going to be related to the networking server that I'll need. So in graduate school, I took a computer networking class and a distributed operating system class. In undergraduate, also networking, but it wasn't as deep. So I have some idea what I want to do and some of the protocols, but I do need to spend time researching and refreshing myself on network protocols and scalability and different networking architectures as it relates to authoritative servers that would be used for MMOs and other online games. What I've been told from people and also what I've heard from conferences and things is that the networking side is probably one of the hardest parts of the entire experience. So I'm going to kind of take my time on it and see what I can do. So as I start working towards the actual work, the first thing I wanted to do was to figure out how to do cross-platform development, so at least an efficient way to do it. So in my career, I've always worked on Windows applications. In grad school, we did create some Linux-based apps, but usually I would just work on the files on Windows, move them over, compile and run them, which I think is okay for small school projects, but I definitely need something more efficient. As I'm coding, I want to be able to iterate and debug very quickly. And it's always important, not only for efficiency, but for motivation purposes as well. So with that in mind, I started learning about something called WSL, and specifically WSL version 2, and the remote tools extensions of Visual Studio Code. As you can see, I can compile a Rust application in WSL, and from the MSDN page, it seems that it has the full Linux kernel support, so I'm hoping there won't be any bugs in the network server specifically related to WSL. There's always gotchas and limitations, and I know that WSL seems to be adding a bit of complexity as it's compared to going maybe in a more native fashion, but we'll have to see. I really don't know a lot about it except what I've been reading recently. If I do run into WSL things, then maybe I'll start working in a VM, at least developing in a VM. I'm not sure when I'll have the next devlog released. I want to have something more substantial to show, but there is a lot of foundational work I need to do first. But anyways, thanks for watching and take care.